condition. Imagine a condition where there is a chariot, the chariot driven by multiple horses, and the chariot driver is alert and is holding the wheels of all the horses. How will the chariot be? How will the chariot move? The driver is smart, the driver is alert, active, and is on the seat of being the master of the chariot. How will the chariot be? How will the chariot move? Fast, along by, fast is of course, but then more important, only speed is not important. In the right direction, coordinated, safe, exactly. Now imagine a condition that the chariot driver, the person who is the master of the chariot, has fallen asleep, has become unconscious. So he's still on the chariot, but he is no longer able to control the chariot. What will happen to the chariot now? Will it stop? Will it stop? What will happen? Confusion. Blind direction. It will move in any direction. What else? Out of control. So far, the driver was driving the chariot through the horses. Now, the chariot is driving the driver through the horses. So what to do in this condition? Do we need to teach each and every horse how to move? Is it a wise decision to train each and every horse? Ghoda number A, aise chalo. Ghoda number B, aise daudo. Ghoda number C, aise karo. Is it a wise decision to control, to bring back the chariot in order? What else to be done? The chariot driver is already trained. Who will take the control? He's sleeping. He's unconscious. Right? That's exactly called empowering the self, awakening the self. We presently are in a condition, sometimes we find ourselves out of our order. We don't want to, but we are compelled by our own habits. We don't want to, but then we speak. We don't want to remember, but then we keep on having the same thought again. I want to remember something, but I tend to forget. Sometimes we find ourselves in such a condition where we don't know where to move, where we feel we are driven by our impulses. We are driven by reactions. So it's not about training the horses. It's about awakening the driver within. When we have too many forces acting on us, it's not about challenging the situations, diverting yourself from the situations, procrastinating. It's not about ignoring. It's not about putting it on somebody else. It's about empowering the self and facing it. So here we are to learn the art that will lead to an empowered self. And through our empowerment, it will create an atmosphere of energy, of positivity that will help others to empower the self and lead your life to a right direction. And this is what the organization is all about. So taking a few moments to introduce the organization to you, officially known as Prajapita Brahma Kumaris Ishwarya Vishwavidyalaya. It is an 83-year-old organization, and this spiritual journey began with the vision of world transformation through self-transformation. We are the unit of world transformation. If the transformation happens at the unit level, collectively we can see a transformed world. What else would we mean by world transformation? It's not about having new flyovers. It's not about having metropolitan cities. It's not about having all the facilities. That will obviously follow. But we should have the right type of mental condition, the right type of, people to live in that transformed world and to sustain that transformed world. So it starts with self-transformation. And The whole objective of the organization is to help people recognize and enhance their spiritual potential through the medium of Raj Yoga meditation. And why is it called Brahma Kumaris? Some of you may have that thought, maybe coming for the first time to the organization. You might feel maybe it's a women organization, hence it is called Brahma Kumaris. Anybody had that kind of thought before coming here? Yes. So it's not a women organization, or it is not an organization which is working for women only. It is by everyone, for everyone. But the reason it is called, shortly it is called Brahma Kumaris, is because it is the only kind of the organization in the world which is spiritually led by women. So being a women-led organization, and this revolution started way back in 1936, in the era where women were at the back front. They were a very, very less empowered section of the society. Bringing them to the forefront and making them spiritual leaders, encashing the spiritual qualities that are natural to a woman, has been the biggest, the biggest landmark, the biggest advantage of this organization. And Raj Yoga meditation, as we will experience it in the retreat, is a means, as I already said, to gain a mastery over the self through a union with the Supreme. And this organization started in 1936, started with a very small group of 350 children, youth, and women particularly. And the founding father, who is called Dada Lake Raj, was a very, very prosperous diamond merchant of that time, having his business in the Sindh, the Karachi, because it was undivided India at that time, Hyderabad, Bombay, Kolkata, and many more places. And he underwent certain spiritual experiences, and those spiritual experiences made him believe that the world is at the verge of a huge transformation, and he has to be the instrument of that transformation. And joined by many simple women, young people, children, this became a movement of the people. And gradually, in 1950, the organization relocated to Mount Abu, and Mount Abu became the center for spiritual services, and spiritual services started expanding, so that from 1960 onwards, it was the decade of expansion, where centers were established in different parts of India, where people were told what is a meditative lifestyle, what difference can spirituality bring to your life. And gradually, from 1970 onwards, this organization started to expand in other countries. And women clad in white were the messengers of spirituality. And there were different centers established in London, in New York, in Australia. And in 1980, and henceforth, that decade, Brahma Kumaris got associated with the United Nations. And it is holding a consultative status in different United Nations bodies like Economic and Social Council of United Nations and UNICEF. And for its efforts to bring peace in the world, it has received 7 Peace Messenger Awards. So as you can see, the former chief of Brahma Kumaris receiving these awards by the United Nations. And gradually different centers and different campuses in the headquarters started to establish, to accommodate, to spiritually sustain masses, thousands of individuals who had now recognized the potential of spirituality, the potential of the self, and how that can bring peace in their lives, peace in their families, peace in their profession, and finally peace in the world. So with the focus on positive change and self-transformation, presently we have, presently, I will just bring you to that. Presently, we have more than 8,500 centers spread in more than 130 countries of the world. Practically, people of all nationalities, all faiths, all languages, all belief systems are commonly connected to each other through that single common cord of spirituality. And with our global outreach, we are bringing a glorious future which is based on purity of character, wisdom, and harmony. And a glimpse of few of our centers worldwide, India and in different countries of the world. This is one global family, recognizing our true and common identity, which is much more and much beyond the divisions that we have created in the world today. Divisions of nationalities, divisions of gender, divisions of caste, creed, race, education, profession, and many more. So, be the change that you want to see in the world, and this retreat is a medium for us to actually experience the change in us and to be the change. So, a very warm welcome once again to this global family